Good morning once again. Now, Donald Trump and his Wonder Boys are telling us that they will uncover and destroy the deep state. But this remains to be seen because recently we were told that they would divulge the contents of the Epstein files. That hasn't happened yet, or it's been stopped. Anyway, I encourage you to watch a link that I will attach in the descriptions to this video. It is extremely important and comes from Ray McGovern. He's an ex-CIA man who, at 85, is still as sharp as a new button and extremely well informed. Now, here's a transcript from another well-informed American who remains nameless. In his 2015 introduction to the book, The WikiLeaks Files, The World According to US Empire, Julian Assange, I'm sure we're all familiar with who Julian is, he drew a sketch of the State Department everyone should read and never ever forget. And here are Assange's words, and I quote, "Each working day, 71,000 people across 191 countries representing 27 different US government agencies will awake and make their way past flags, steel fences and armed guards into one of the 276 fortified buildings that comprise the 169 embassies and other missions of the United Department of State. In other words, embassies all over America. And all these people are joined in their march by representatives and operatives from 27 other US government departments and agencies, including the CIA, the National Security Agency and the FBI, and the various branches of the US military. Inside each embassy is an ambassador who usually is close to domestic US political, business or intelligence power. Career diplomats who specialize in the politics, economy and public diplomacy of their host state, managers, researchers, military attaches, spies under foreign service, personnel from other US government agencies and some embassies. This goes as far as overt armed military or covert special operation forces, contractors, security personnel, technicians, locally hired translators, cleaners and other heavily vetted service personnel. Above them are radio and satellite antennae scraping the air, some reaching back home to receive or disgorge diplomatic and CIA cables, some to relay the communications of US military ships and planes, others in place by the National Security Agency in order to mass intercept the mobile phones and other wireless traffic of the host population. The US Department of State is unique among the former bureaucracies of the United States. Other agencies aspire to administrate one function or another, but the State Department represents and even houses all major elements of US national power. It provides cover for the CIA, buildings for the NSA, mass interception equipment, office space and communication facilities for the FBI, the military and other government agencies, and staff to act as sales agents and political advisors for the largest US corporations. As the diplomatic apparatus of the United States, the State Department is directly involved in putting a friendly face on empire, concealing its underlying mechanics. Every year, billions upon billions is budgeted for public diplomacy, a term for outward-facing propaganda. And public diplomacy explicitly aims to influence journalists and civil society so that they serve as conduits for State Department messaging propaganda. While National Archives have produced impressive collections of internal state, their material is intentionally withheld or made difficult to access for decades upon decades until it is stripped of all its potency. And this is inevitable as National Archives are not structured to resist the blowback. And what makes the revelation of secret communications potent is that we are not supposed to read them. The internal communications of the National US Department of State are the logistical byproduct of its activities. Their publication is the vivisection of a living empire showing what substance flowed from which state organ and when. The State Department is a nation within a nation. And think how awesome a challenge taking it down would be. But it has to be done, no matter how long it takes. But there are two ways to approach it. Unfortunately, there is where a paywall kicked in and I couldn't afford to read the rest. And the information was quite obviously the reason why Julian Assange was incarcerated for such a long time. And let's really not forget who implemented that. Yeah, Keir Starmer, as the head of Crown Prosecution Services, he oversaw decisions prolonging Julian Assange's extradition case. But fortunately, because of the massive public outcry, Julian was released after several years as a political prisoner. No thanks to Starmer and the deep state we have here in Britain. Make no mistake about that. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.